their minds drawn to these parts of a woman's body. Here are the 10 magnets to men's eyes. Number 1, dresses or skirts with lengthy slits. When a man's eye sees a slit that comes up to the knee or above, he thinks, oh, a few more inches, and what would I see? That's the way a man's mind works. If your fathers have not told you this, daughters, it's true. If you husbands have not told your wives this, shame on you, you know it's true. This is a magnet to men's eyes, dresses or skirts with lengthy slits. Secondly, dresses or skirts which hug the buttocks. I don't know a better word to use. I asked my brethren, what do I mean? My shirt is not hugging any part of my body except perhaps this is hugging my wrist. A skirt that hugs the buttocks is a skirt that not only comes down over the buttocks, but back into the back of the thighs. When you see pictures of hookers, one of the marks of a hooker, she always has her buttocks hugged, whether it's a mini skirt, whether it's jeans, whether it's tight slacks, her butt is always hugged because that's what she's selling. And that's what she wants men to buy. It's a magnet to men's eyes. Thirdly, any upper garment that hugs the breast. And I don't know a better way to describe it. It's one thing for your garment to come down over and hang loosely upon the breast, but to hug the breast, to shape and isolate your breasts, becomes a magnet to men's eyes. People should not receive an anatomy lesson in mammary glands when they look at you women. It is a magnet to men's eyes. Fourthly, unbuttoned blouses, low necklines, or cleavage on any upper body garment. You know what I mean by the buttons? You've got a blouse that buttons up to here. You not only unbutton here and here and here, but you unbutton right down to one button away from bearing your bra. And when a man sees only one button to go, his mind goes, I wonder what's under that one more button. I'm looking down right now at a young woman who has everything up to the last button. It opens the collar, that's all. And a man's mind only sees that's an open collar. Come 2 buttons down, and what he sees and what he thinks is an occasion of stumbling to him. John Piper, ministering to thousands out in Minneapolis, he is burdened about this issue, and he's posted an article on the internet, Is Modesty an Issue in the Church Today? Listen to Mr. Piper. Necklines are an issue these days. Everywhere I turn, at the airport, at the church, the necklines are plunging. Some fashion designers in the world are communicating to women today that the thing to do is to have your neckline split, extend too low. Unbuttoned blouses, low necklines on the shirts that may be under your jacket, cleavage of any kind on any upper body garment. And also women, remember, in the church setting, you are found at times bending over, picking up a child. Bend over and look at yourself in the mirror before you leave the home. What may seem to cover you well standing, bending over does not cover you sufficiently to be dressed modestly. Number 5, another magnet to men's eyes, sleeveless blouses or dresses with large armholes. You look down on your sleeveless dress and you see nothing but your shoulder. But if it's a large armhole, a man sitting behind you looks up at the pulpit, sees through to your bra, and his mind goes where he doesn't want it to go. It's immodest to appear in the house of God with sleeveless blouses and dresses with large armholes. If the armholes are tight enough that no one can see in, then that's your liberty before God. Number 6, low-rise skirts or pants. This is the style made popular by Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Jennifer Lopez. These sexpots, flaunting their bodies in their gyrations with their so-called music. They've made this style popular with the skirts that barely hang on the hip bones, and with the jeans that barely come up and cover the crack of the buttocks. I've been in situations with Christian women where I've had to look at the crack of their buttocks because of the low-rise jeans, skirts, or pants. Number 7, see-through clothing of any kind. Clothing that does not cover your undergarments to the point where no one can see them. Some of you need to know the function of a camisole. Number 8, skirts and dresses that are just plain too short. Difficult when you're seated to adequately cover yourself, and then you get engrossed in something in a public setting and you're not keeping your knees locked together. And before long, the legs are spread a bit, and anyone just happening to glance can see clean up to your panties. That's not modest. It's immodest. It becomes a magnet to men's eyes. Listen to Mrs. Moeller again. She says, if you arrive at church dressed in such a way that by the end of the service, the people around you, by no fault of their own, know the color of your underwear, and they've watched you do a shimmy dance as you tried to get your too short, too tight skirt to go under you, there's a big problem. I like her humor. You have to do a shimmy dance. But seriously, women, that does not meet the biblical standard. I will that the women dress modestly. Number 9. Slacks or pants or jeans, hear me carefully, women, that hug the buttocks, the thighs, and the crotch. And crotch is not a coarse word. The dictionary defines it as the place where the legs fork from the human body, the seam or place where the legs of a pair of pants meet. And here I speak from a deeply burdened heart. This is one of the areas, dear women, where the immodesty has taken over in Trinity Baptist Church. Some of you showing up with slacks that I've never asked you what the material was, but they either have spandex in them or they are a kind of material that is a stretch material and hugs the buttocks, comes around and hugs the thigh and presses up on your crotch and the crack of your buttocks, and you have no idea what that does to many a man when he sees it. You draw the eye to the most erotic part of your body. That whole area becomes a magnet for men's eyes. And the apostle says, I will that the women dress modestly. And then number 10, a bared midriff and back. This whole present style where tops come down and just barely, if at all, meet the low-rise jeans. You may look in the mirror and say, well, I'm fully covered. But all you need to do is to reach here and a couple of inches of your belly are showing. All you need to do is bend over and people can see your back and usually the top of your underwear, and it's happened right in this assembly. I have seen it Wednesday nights in the prayer meeting. To my embarrassment, Thank God, not to my lust, but to my disgust, that this would be tolerated in Trinity Baptist Church.